Who'd have thought that the Pinocchio tale and the Souls-like experience could mesh up so well? That's what we're here to talk about today with the Lies of P review, which was written up by the wonderful Liam Croft and crafted into video by yours truly. Hello there everyone, it's Aaron here from Push Square, and today, with puppets, weapons and super cool environments, we are breaking down our Lies of P PS5 review. Let's get into it. Lies of P is a game that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Made by the South Korean team Round 8 Studios, it feels like the product of a developer taking its second or even third swing at the Souls-like formula. It puts the majority of other titles inspired by Dark Souls to complete shame, yet the only other game to the name of Round 8 Studios is an MMORPG called Bless Unleashed. The big question remains then, how has a relatively unknown developer managed to top some of the industry's elite with better combat, extensive customization and quality presentation? Lies of P is a game that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, sure, but what's abundantly clear is that it's something From Software fans cannot afford to miss. A passing glance at the game will likely draw comparisons to Bloodborne, and while it does use the same set dressing of a Victorian London styled city, Lies of P goes above and beyond to stand on its own 2 feet. By retelling the story of Pinocchio in a significantly darker manner, as the city of Krat is gripped by an animatronic revolt, the game sets itself apart from virtually any other video game ever produced. Terrifying puppets roam the streets, killer clowns are boss fights, and traditional children's toys become more of a nightmare than a source of joy. It's a very unique direction to take, but it's one that pays off as the Timothée Chalamet knockoff of a main character battles between the stereotypes of a puppet and embracing the thoughts and feelings of a human. This internal struggle is presented to you as decisions to make throughout the game, which lead to one of a few different endings. You can tell the truth or lie and start working towards replacing those wooden limbs with real flesh. With wind-up keys protruding out of the back of enemies and purposefully wooden animations to reflect the jerky motion of puppets, Round 8 Studio fully commits to the aesthetic and doesn't miss a beat. It may have been the butt of a few jokes before release, but the design choices and inspiration of Lies of P make for a first-rate experience. Now you're not going to forget about that puppet game for all the right reasons. What's even more impressive is that our compliments extend to the overall presentation. It's not boasting top-of-the-line visuals like a Naughty Dog game, but the game presents everything so immaculately at a rock-solid 60 frames per second. From the impressive opening credits cutscene to the satisfying on-screen animations when a boss is beaten, it's clear that so much love and care has been put into perfecting even the most minute of details. It's a mystery how Round 8 has managed to accomplish this, but Lies of P sports some breathtaking production values. Even the main menu updates with new background scenes to reflect where you are in the campaign. It's really pleasing stuff. Now, none of this would matter if the game wasn't actually fun to play, but thankfully it's backed by a good combat system and even better suite of upgrades and customization options. It's structured just like your typical From Software experience, at least prior to Elden Ring, with linear environments funneling you through enemy encounters, items and secrets, and unlockable shortcuts to make future runs easier. You'll collect ergo or souls to level up your character at stargazers or bonfires, and retreat to a home base at a hotel where various NPCs act as vendors, upgrade specialists and quest givers. Lies of P is at its most reserved when it's conforming to the basics of what it means to be a Souls-like. There are very few surprises in the general gameplay loop. If you've played a FromSoft game or one of its many copycats, then this experience will feel like comfort food. To its benefit though, the title has a few things to call its own to kill any Bloodborne rip-off claims. With a weapon in your right hand, your left is interchangeable with Legion arms, granting you different abilities. You can kit your build out with anything from a flamethrower to a shield or armor-piercing bullets and landmines, all designed as get-out clauses for when the going gets tough. They really expand the possibilities of combat, offering up chances to chain damage from one hand to the other, delivering a traditional sword slash along with an electric shock. They're all very satisfying to use, bettered by upgrades to make them even more viable during combat. Lies of P also offers the usual sort of weapon enhancements that you would expect from a Souls-like, alongside the conventional leveling up system to boost your vitality, stamina and attack power. In addition to this, a P organ mechanic offers more significant upgrades. By collecting quartz off of powerful enemies or from special chests, you can tune your wooden body to have more pulse cells, extend the timing windows of certain attacks, or let you equip more amulets at once, among others. Furthermore, most weapons come in two parts, its blade and then the handle. Using a vendor back at Hotel Krat, you can mix and match swords, daggers and greatswords by attaching their blades to different handles for different effects and abilities. It's a really neat spin on customization, offering another layer from which to source a perfect build. Changing how your weapon swings and the sort of skills it has access to, you can come up with some interesting combinations to get a leg up on the enemy. When you are upgrading all of this consistently throughout your 25-hour playthrough, you can really feel your character grow in strength to a satisfying degree. With new weapons, with different playstyles, and fable arts which are your special attacks to experiment with, the game offers a fantastic amount of customization and improvement options. The only issue is you'd need to grind out those upgrade systems a serious amount to avoid any of the mid-game difficulty spikes. Lies of P is maybe one step below a Dark Souls experience in terms of overall difficulty, making it a really good entry point for those that wish to give the genre a try. That is until some excessively difficult boss encounters block your progress. You're able to summon in an AI companion to help out, there's sadly no co-op here, but even with some aid, one or two encounters feel unbalanced to the point of frustration. To be clear, they gave us more trouble than the final boss did. Another area where the game can't quite match some of its peers is in its level design. It's very linear, which is no bad thing in itself, but it gets to the point where new locations start to feel a bit too predictable. Upon reaching a new area, there'll always be one path through to the mainline boss, and then the one odd street with a chest or secret at the end. Indeed, this is how a lot of linear titles are structured, but it's so blatant in Lies of P that the experience rarely surprises you with what might be around the corner. It makes exploring late game areas a little dull beyond admiring the visual backdrops. Now, you could increase the resolution for some better graphical splendour by selecting the game's quality mode, but this unlocks the frame rate to where it'll hover anywhere between 30 and 60 frames per second. The performance mode pretty much locks the title to the latter, making for an extremely smooth experience. While it is still the best way to play Lies of P, a lack of haptic feedback and adaptive trigger support means you probably won't feel like you're getting everything possible out of the PS5 version. Lies of P then feels like the result of a developer taking a good few swings at the Souls-like genre, so it is so impressive that Round 8 has accomplished so much on its first attempt. By fully embracing its dark take on the Pinocchio story, it sets itself apart from anything else available. Elevating it above other games are quality combat and extensive satisfying customization, turning Lies of P into a first-class experience for From Software fanatics. So folks, there you have it, another solid game to add to the wishlist. 2023 just does not stop. I've actually been playing this one too, and that's the footage you've been seeing today, and I've sort of fallen in love with the game. I just love the setting, the story, the enemy design, it's all really strong here. So let us know how you've been feeling about the game down in the comments, and what other children's classic would you like to see made into a Dark Souls-like game? Anyway folks, thank you for sticking around, I appreciate you, and until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.